These are very stark examples of how vulnerable we are and how difficult it is to say that I am fully secured. The entire war was sort of, it became so muddled that you just have to pick up some history book and you will find it. The Chinese cyber attack on His Holiness Dalai Lama's network, as brought in the GhostNet study, and July 2009 attack on the South Korea and USA gives an indication as to how cyber warfare is evolving. A report which has been compiled by the McAfee Inc. in 2008 with inputs from NATO, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and very leading security related groups and academic institutions has revealed that as many as 120 countries are now actively engaged in web-based espionage and cyber attack. And mind you, as far as the UN is concerned, there are I think only 156 or 157 countries. So there are very few who are not engaged in it. And therefore, the country like India, which is still providing leadership in the IT world, should be one of those 35 countries who are not involved. It's a national issue. As I said, it is so important that you can't leave it just from the arena of the armed forces. It is for all of us because it affects the day-to-day life. You take telecom, you take travel, you take transportation, you take medical, you take hospitality industry, you name anything. It facilitates movement of people around the world, and therefore we have a commitment as a lead nation in IT that we continue to provide leadership to ensure cyber security all over the world. And therefore, mind you, if you create a tool or an instrument to hack, please be sure that somebody would be doing the same thing to you, and therefore you should also think about how to secure that layer. And is there any way that somebody can get into it? Because, for one intelligent person, there are 10 in the world, who are trying to get you out of your job. As we are concerned in the armed forces and as a nation, cyber security is one of the most important national security challenges facing the country as on date. All our critical infrastructures like communication, finance, transportation, aviation, defense, energy, emergency services, and they're all dependent on the cyberspace. The government has taken some initiative, that much I can share with you, and as you go along, when you interact, you will get to know more. As far as the cyber emergency response plan is concerned, in case of there is some catastrophic attack or damage which has taken place, and these cyber attacks can take place because of the vulnerability in our existing system. When I say vulnerability, in simple words, it means loopholes. It means we have left some areas unattended in our enthusiasm to make everything into the cyber domain. And therefore, wait a minute, pause, listen to these gentlemen, interact with them, and I find that there's a lovely sessions which are lined up ahead in the next 2 days, and the world's best minds are here. So please make use of this opportunity to contribute, to learn, and to implement. That's the only way that we can ensure security in the cyberspace. Some of the vulnerabilities can be software, it can be hardware, it can be the seams between the software and hardware, communication channels, configurations, users, worse, the service providers, and worst of all, the insiders. Today somebody who's sort of supporting you, who's working with you, he knows your system very well. He or she is the biggest risk. And therefore, we have to look at it in much wider perspective rather than limiting it to individual achievements. We need to look at it as to how it is going to affect the world, how it is going to affect the humanity for whom the cyberspace has done so much to facilitate their life, make it so much easier. Is it going to